Change happens whether we like it or not, good or bad. It happens whether you're ready or not. But the question is, can you accept it, or are you going to resist it? And the more you resist it, the more it persists, and the more difficult it's going to be. We like change when it's easy, when it comes to when you grow up, or when a lot of things good happen to you and you love that part of change. But when it comes to the difficult parts, you're like, I'm not ready for this. And you try to make it work no matter what, no matter if it hurts you, no matter if it hurts everyone else. But trying to stay the same eventually gets boring. And here are different scenarios where change is hard. It's hard when you have to move to a new place. It's hard when you have to find a new partner, a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend. It's hard when you're trying to change the patterns that you have. But before I get into the crazy stories that I have, make sure to like and subscribe. So let's get into it. Moving was the hardest thing in the world for me, especially when I was young, well, practically a kid. It was bound to happen regardless what I did because I had no say in what would happen. So we moved, and then I just wanted to go back to where I was, back to being with my old friends instead of meeting new people, and just trying to not even give it a chance, just telling myself, nope, I'm not gonna stay here, I'm gonna move back so I don't have to get to know anybody. I don't want to build relationships. I'm just gonna be on my own until my parents come back to their senses and we go back to where we used to live. And instead of resisting that moment, I could have been like, whatever, it's better to be here. I can meet new people, I can make new friends, and the teachers are going to be great. But since I resisted it, I made it worse and more difficult for myself. And then eventually you just get to adapt, you get to figure everything out. And then I was like, okay, well, this is where I'm going to be, this is where I'm going to stay, so you need to adapt. So I stayed here, and now I'm able to take that experience and be able to go anywhere or be anywhere without feeling fear because it already happened. And it was easier for me later on when I had to move to the Bay Area. It was easier when I had to move to Sacramento. And here I am. And this next story gets a bit interesting because it's a dating story. So when you're in high school, you think, I'm going to be with the same guy forever and we're going to live together and we're going to be the best couple and everyone's going to be jealous. And that's what everyone thinks. So with those expectations that I had during that time, that is not what happened. That wasn't the story, and you know it. You think that, everyone thinks that, but that's not how it turns out. So when it didn't turn out how I wanted it to, I was like so disappointed, and I didn't think that I would find the same person, so I kept resisting it. I was like, what else can I do to get this person back? What else? I don't care what happens. And that's when I let my whole worth or whatever go out the window and just do whatever it took. And we dated again, but you know what? It didn't work. And it was because I found something else out. And when I found this out, I was like, okay, I lost myself. I lost my self-worth. I didn't want to change, and I wanted to keep going, and I wanted to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And I figured out that it's not worth it, and the whole resisting it and trying to be with the same person, if it's not working and if it's because it was hurting me the most. I don't know about that, the other person, but me, it was pretty bad. Like, I couldn't get over it for a while. Which leads me to, all of us resist those patterns that we all have, those patterns that keep on coming up, those patterns that keep us doing the same thing over and over again, repeating them even though we don't know it. It's just in the back of your head. You think you're powerless, you think you can't change, you think it's just a part of your programming, you think that you were given these genes by your parents and there's nothing you can do, but there is once you realize it. And that's what's happening to me. I keep on repeating some sort of patterns that I don't realize that I am, and it's kind of annoying. And I put myself in these situations where it's mostly sometimes my thoughts, because I feel like I'm in my head a lot. And if I wasn't, it would be easier to go with what is happening. And now I'm learning to catch it, so it's easier now, but sometimes I don't. And it kind of ruins my day sometimes. The point that I'm trying to make is that change is inevitable. You can't stop it. No matter what you do, you may prolong the situation, but eventually it's going to happen, and it's going to happen in a way that you are not going to be able to figure out when it's going to happen. Once it does, it's going to shake you a little bit, it's going to break you, and it's going to hurt you, because you're just resisting that change that's supposed to happen. And change is not supposed to be so difficult. It's easy. Nothing stays the same forever. If you did, it'd be boring. And some people may say, why change? It doesn't make a difference. And it doesn't make a difference in the world. And you can respond, it doesn't have to make a difference to the world, but the most important part is that the change that I make will benefit me and my growth. And once it benefits me and my growth, that difference will get to everyone else and then help those who need it.